We keep to this point of view even if the Christian wants to tell us that everybody lies for his benefit, but the Christians do not lie without previous announcement and for the disadvantage of their own. So we can prove not only by those scriptures the Christians call non-authentic, but also by the authentic New Testament, that the Christians lie about resurrection from the dead and about the life of Ben-Pandera, the figure they call Jesus Christ. The problem, the pivotal or the hardcore of the problem is what the Christians later called Holy Communion or Eucharist. When I was already 21 years old, in the year 1965, I already read this passage of the Gospel of John, and as a young man, as a drop of a hat, I found out that here it is a swindle beyond bound and past description. In chapter 13, verse 19, it is written the following. Ben-Pandera says to his henchmen, I, so-called figure Jesus Christ, tell this now, before it occurs, so that when it does occur, you may believe that I am he. And then verse 20 is also important. Very truly I tell you, whoever receives one whom I sent receives me, and whoever receives me receives whom I sent. Why does Ben-Pandera need to say, you shall believe that this figure I am? It is about his entourage that followed him at least 1 year, saw him almost every day, and they are instructed to understand that this figure is he. The verse means the following. I want to read it now with the completion it needs, or the additions it needs. I, Ben-Pandera or Jesus Christ, tell this now, before it, the crucifixion occurs. So when it, the crucifixion occurs, you may believe that I am he, the one who hangs on the cross. And now it comes the equation that if he sends somebody, he is the other one himself. And this is also was the fuss about the Last Supper, or which later became Holy Communion or Eucharist means. The Last Supper, with the bread dipped in wine, means that if Ben-Pandera dips the morsel symbolizing his flesh in the wine, symbolizing his blood, and gives it to Judas Iscariot, then Judas Iscariot has transfigured to Jesus Christ, and he, Jesus Christ, and his henchmen can fool themselves that the one that hangs is not Judas Iscariot, but Jesus Christ. And generalization of Holy Communion or Eucharist in Christianity came into being by the consideration that many Christian people thought that what Jesus Christ or Ben-Pandera made with Judas, a unification, they also can do with him. And if you think the Catholic notion of transubstantiation to the end, that when you get the bread, that this transfigured to the flesh of Ben-Pandera or Jesus Christ, then you already see the stuntman on the cross. And there are more other difficulties how the Christian hid the truth. They could not say to others that Judas Iscariot died on the cross, but they understand Judas Iscariot as Jesus Christ or Ben-Pandera. People would laugh at the Christians. They have to give the impression that Ben-Pandera really died on the cross. In the Greek text, there is nothing written about a betrayal or a betrayer, but there's used the notion of paradidomi. And paradidomi means deliverer. Judas Iscariot was the one who delivered the body to the cross as the Christians fool themselves to the cross. And there are other things that demonstrate that the Christian narrations about the crucifixion is not correct. The Christian, the Greek and the Latin, and mostly the Latin text, tell us that Ben-Pandera was captured by a Roman cohort. A Roman cohort is 1/10 of a legion. And that means that he at least was captured by about 700 Roman soldiers at least, and to that one has to put in a proportion Jewish police officers, so that one can say that Ben-Pandera at least was captured by 1,000 soldiers and policemen. A man with an entourage of 12 people peacefully walking through Palestine will not be captured by a cohort, by 1,000 soldiers or policemen. And the Jewish scriptures, for instance the Toledot Yeshu, reports to us that Ben-Pandera raided the Jerusalem temple with about 300 people. And if the Romans have to count that he wants to defend the 300 people himself, then they had to use 3 times or 5 times more men of power to overwhelm the one they wanted to apprehend. What the book demonstrates more is that Ben-Pandera wreaked havoc on earth while he was light to reside in heaven to God's right. At least 2 times more. At least 2 times more. He became sentenced to death and escaped by a stuntman.